Why are you watching me nap?
Hey guys, Brandon Zerby here, and there are some people who sleep in response to sleep loss. This is called replacement napping. If you only got 4 hours of sleep last night, then you can nap to replace that sleep loss. But that might not work. More on that later. There are other people who nap to prepare for sleep loss. This is called prophylactic napping. If you know that you're only going to sleep 4 hours later that night and you sleep in preparation for that sleep loss. That might work some, but again, more on that later. And there are others who nap for the enjoyment of napping. This is called appetitive napping. If you nap because you have absolutely nothing better going on in your life, then you're lazy. Just kidding, I'm 30, so I don't judge people anymore, so nap away. But no matter your reason, does napping have evidence-based benefits? What is the optimal nap duration and time? And why don't I nap? Well, let's get into it. That didn't work. If you look into the studies researching napping, you'll see a lot of confusing associations. Daytime napping is associated with increased obesity, or type 2 diabetes, or even inflammation. Oppositely, you'll see studies that show that daytime napping can facilitate successful aging by preventing disease and increasing cognitive function. As I've mentioned before, these associations can be deceiving because the direction of the relationship isn't always understood. Does napping lead to diabetes, obesity, and chronic inflammation? Or do people that have diabetes, obesity, and chronic inflammation then nap more in response? You just don't know until you do intervention-based studies where you can determine a cause and effect, to which these studies are a little more difficult to find and fund, but here's what I did find. Napping does appear to improve mood and subjective levels of sleepiness and fatigue. It can be particularly beneficial to performance on tasks such as addition, logical reasoning, reaction time, and symbol recognition. In one study, they had participants either take a 90-minute daytime nap or an equal interval of quiet wakefulness. They then had all participants study a list of words, green words to remember, and red words to forget. After that, they quizzed the participants on these words and found that the recently napped participants had improved episodic memory retention. But these longer naps, sleeping for 30 minutes or longer, produce sleep inertia, making nap benefits only obvious after an initial delay. So what does our sleep architecture look like, and what is this thing called sleep inertia? Sleep inertia is characterized by the reduction in the ability to think and perform upon waking due to sleep. It's that feeling of confusion and grogginess, where you can't even remember what day it is.
Is it my birthday again? Nope.
But sleep inertia is associated with longer naps, as it typically thought to result from awakening from a slow wave sleep. For example, a 10-minute nap for most won't show any sleep inertia effects, while a 30-minute nap will. This is because the average sleep cycle is 90 minutes long, and over those first 30 minutes, you'll start to dive into deeper levels of sleep, starting off with wakefulness, going into REM sleep, going into NREM stage 1 and 2, and then finally into that deep NREM stage 3 and stage 4 sleep. And the further you fall into those sleep stages, the more sleep inertia you're going to feel. That's why it's best to stick to shorter naps, say less than 20 minutes, so you can avoid that sleep inertia. Or you can wait until that full sleep cycle completes at the 90-minute mark. So now that we understand sleep architecture and sleep inertia, what is the optimal sleep time and duration? In one study, which results seem to match every other study, a mid-afternoon nap was more recuperative than a nap taken at any other time during the day. For example, at early morning, at noon, and at early evening. These mid-afternoon naps occur between 1 and 4 p.m., where circadian rhythm naturally raises your sleepiness. You'll find this sleepiness even if you skip lunch or had adequate sleep the night before. It's code built into our system, and why car accidents rise during this period while your alertness drops. This 1 to 4 time frame has been deemed the sleep gate. Open the sleep gate! I don't know what's going on here. Napping during this time improves sleep efficiency, shortens sleep latency, and produces greater amounts of slow-wave deep sleep if you sleep long enough, beyond that 30-minute mark. Outside of this period, napping might not only have less benefits, but it could also have negative side effects that are worth being aware of. So if you miss the golden sleep gate, then you'll definitely want to avoid the evening forbidden zone between 7 and 9 p.m. I forbid you to nap in this zone. Who comes up with these names? Not me. These later evening naps can disrupt our regular sleep quality and quantity, which I'll touch on a little bit later. But most studies seem to indicate that napping after 4 p.m. should be avoided. As for optimal nap duration, a 5, 10, 20, and 30-minute nap, as well as no nap, were used to determine if brief naps were as effective as longer naps. They showed that the 10, 20, and 30-minute naps produced improvements in cognitive performance and alertness, while the 5-minute nap and no nap conditions did not. Moreover, the 10-minute nap showed immediate benefits, while the 20 and 30-minute naps led initially to sleep inertia, but then produced benefits after the inertia had subsided. But 3 hours post-nap, there were no differences among all 5 conditions. Now, longer naps around that 90-minute mark could have extra benefits compared to shorter nap because you're going into those deeper stages of sleep, the deep sleep stages. Either way, a 10 to 20-minute nap between the hours of 1 and 4 p.m. appear to be optimal, but if you have time for a 90-minute nap, there could be extra benefits with that too. But despite my findings and attempts at regular napping, I rarely do it anymore. First, the outcomes on napping performance and health are a little mixed. Although the immediate results of napping can be positive, improved motor and cognitive function, reduced fatigue, these positive results are not long lasting and seem to dissipate after a couple of hours. In no way does sleep replace a good night's sleep. Second, excessive daytime napping can have a negative impact on the quality and quantity of nighttime sleep and give rise to a cycle of poor sleep. And this is what has affected me the most. Throughout the day, as you're awake and expending energy, there's a chemical called adenosine that builds up in your brain. Adenosine can be thought of as a pressure to sleep. As that balloon or pressure expands throughout the day, so does your pressure to sleep. Then at night, once you get that long, nice, high-quality bout of sleep, that adenosine will be released from the brain and that pressure to sleep will be relieved. That balloon will be deflated and the process will start all over again the next day. But taking naps can relieve some of this pressure. Then at night, you might not have the same pressure to fall asleep, making it more difficult to fall and stay asleep. This is definitely what happens to me, and those naps can lead to a poor night's sleep where it's difficult for me to fall asleep at night. This can then make for a poor night's sleep, which then makes you more likely to nap again the next day, and then you can see how this cycle goes on and on. So instead, I do my best to stay awake throughout the day and then focus on getting one high quality bout of sleep at night. So here are my final thoughts. The optimal nap depends on a number of different factors that I didn't even get to cover, like sleep need, timing of sleep-wake schedule, morningness to eveningness tendencies, quality of sleep the preceding night, quality of sleep during the nap, and amount of prior wakefulness. And the benefits of naps will be highly individual based upon these factors. But for most adults curious about regular napping to improve fatigue and increase mental performance, then a 10 to 20 minute nap between the hours of 1 to 4 p.m. may be best. But for me, I avoid taking naps because it decreases my sleep pressure and that makes it more difficult for me to fall asleep and stay asleep at night. And one other thing that I didn't get a chance to mention is if you know you're going to be awake for an extended period of time, say you're a pilot having a long international flight and you want to interject a nap to help out with fatigue and performance, it's better to take that nap earlier on in that wakefulness bout compared to later on. The preventative approach is much easier than once you are already fatigued and you're trying to cure the fatigue with the nap. So thanks for stopping by and checking out the video. If you did like this video, please let me know by hitting the like button. It lets me know what kind of content I should be creating and definitely helps out the channel. If you have any questions, drop in the comments below. I'll be sure to answer all of those. And if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Lastly, I offer a free health kit, which has my top 10 sleep tips, one whole foods plant-based recipe, and a mobility workout that you can stream on any device. That is free. There's a link down in the description for that. It also gives you signed up to my weekly newsletter, where I provide the 3 most important things that I've read, watched, or listened to within the past week. All of that completely free. Link down in the description if you're interested in that. Thanks again for watching. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Can I get a little privacy, please?